So this morning I woke up, the crack of dawn, birds were chirping, sun was shining, everything was nice and happy in the world. Until I check my phone. I decide, oh, what better way to start the day than to go on social media? So I open up Snapchat, and the first thing I see, I knew I had to share it. Time Traveler from 2075 reveals World War III details. In light of the recent events in our American politics, I thought it was a good time to look over this video. It's rather old, February 22nd, 2018. Michael Phillips claims to be a time traveler who was born in the year 2043. Okay, so he was born in 2043, then it... What's 75 minus 43?
75 minus 40.
Okay, he's 32 years old. This is his story.
My name is Michael Phillips, and I am a time traveller. At the age of 18, I joined the army, had a few years there, and then I was
military,
recruited to
man.
the SES, the 21st SES Regiment to be exact.
The 21st SS Regiment at that. It's not looking good for you, Michael Phillips. I mean, out of all these, I just don't know what, I don't know where you could have gone wrong in your choice of, SS divisions.
We carried out a number of missions in countries that I'm not allowed to name because I've signed the Official Secrets Act.
He's not allowed to name countries because of the Official Secrecy Act. Now keep that in mind. Think about that. He's sworn to secrecy. Just remember that.
They took me into a hangar, and in that hangar I saw this 8-foot sized spheroid object. I was then briefed on what this object actually was. Turns out it was a time machine.
Okay.
This time machine, it uses two micro singularities, one at the top and one at the bottom, to power the craft into it creates a gravimetric.
The fuck is a gravimetric distortion?
Distortion, and distortion then tears a hole in time-space.
Tears a hole in time-space. If I were gonna tear a hole in time-space, that's how I would do. Tear a hole in time-space.
Many UFOs that you do see in the skies are in fact time travelers.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, man. It's not a likely story. Did it have anything better to do in 2075 than go back in time to 2018, 2019? Oh, it's 2020 now. Okay. Whenever all the people are idiots and like, ha, look at those idiots. They haven't discovered gravimetric distortion and their the ability to time travel yet. What do they benefit from coming back to this time period? That's what I want to know. Like, is he coming back to this time period to prove to us that time travel is possible so that in the future we can discover that time travel is possible? Because would we have not heard it from him, then we'd have become discouraged at a certain... I'm thinking about this too much.
The first was to the year 2138, which was very interesting because it was not at all like I know the Earth to be now. In fact, it was rather polluted, and people are quite tribal, and
People are quite
it wasn't a
tribal.
pleasant place to be.
So there's a full Mad Max scenario where pollution took over the earth, and you have the raiders just coming down on the...
Anyway,
I don't know, man.
A little bit more about my time, 2075.
Yeah, that's what we all really want to hear about. We don't care about this tribal 2138 or whatever year he said. We want to know about 2075.
There were a number of Earth changes which I do want to warn you about, which did change the Earth.
Some Earth changes that did in fact change the Earth.
Another time traveller from, I think it was 2038. And he thankfully stopped a civil war in America, which was supposed to kick off in 2008.
Whoa.
However,
Whoa. Okay. So, if multiverse theory is false, and anything that he does affect his future, why would they go in the past and start changing wars? Like, obviously, some sort of country that is worth mentioning prevailed in this war, in these different wars that they're warning us about, for them to have time travel in the future. Because if they got wiped off the planet, humans went back to like it was a full Fallout scenario, where everything is just destroyed in nuclear fallout and stuff like that. Then how would they get the technology to time travel like this? It just doesn't seem likely.
he got involved with the American intelligence authorities and the time travel program there. And it was decided that America needed a single unifying event to bring the country together and to avert a civil war. And that event was 9/11.
Yeah. That's not... He did it. This guy, Michael Phillips, caused 9/11.
May of 2001, just before 9/11 happened.
It's before...
May of 2001, just before 9/11 happened. So
You see, what happened there was he misspoke. He said something he wasn't supposed to, and like instantly the future government of like 2075 just snatched that bit of information from the timeline and it got distorted.
there is a limited nuclear exchange in 2019, March of 2019.
Okay, we see this now. There was no limited nuclear exchange in 2019.
That does involve North Korea. They attempt to launch a nuclear missile at Honolulu in Hawaii, and then
Let me fact check that. Okay, yeah, I'm just double checking it. I don't see anything. I mean, they're threatening it, but like really, what are they gonna fucking do? Kim Jong-un, you're a pussy. If we're going by Dragon Ball Z logic, this guy could be Trunks. He's just trying to save our timeline with no risk of his own. What a swell guy.
the US responds with 2 cruise missile, nuclear-laden missiles to Pyongyang and takes that. So Kim Jong-un was no more at that point, and a lot of his government was taken out too.
A lot of Kim Jong-un's guild. This dude's really just been sitting in North Korea playing RuneScape. This guy single-handedly came and wiped out his guild members. Oh, it's beautiful. What a tale he spun. Okay, now this is the clip that made me want to watch this whole video. I saw, with the
World War III
turmoil
is-
that ensued after that, World War III did start in 2020.
It was a
then it
limited war,
continues.
thankfully. It only lasted 3 years. China and Russia were against the UK, America, and a few other countries.
A few other countries. They just don't matter. They're not world superpowers.
And all in all, it was a very fast but brutal war. Countless millions were
Okay, so first he's saying 3 years long, which, going by wartime, that's not too long. I mean, that is a pretty quick war, but still, to call it a very, what were his exact words? A very fast war,
but brutal war.
but brutal war.
Countless
Countless millions. You can't even count the amount of millions of people that were killed. Countless millions died in the war.
Oh yes, 2022, California, LA to be exact, is hit by what they term the big one.
LA got
There was a very, very massive
destroyed by the big one. Which, in all honesty, are we gonna miss LA whenever it inevitably gets destroyed by the big one in 2022?
Donald Trump, he clung to power for 2 terms, tried
Notice how he said he clung to power. He clung to power. He wasn't elective. He just somehow managed to stay in office. He was a rodent who just wouldn't leave. God.
3. However, he was impeached and he was finally got rid of.
He was finally got rid of. Okay, this dude's not from the future. No one from the future would just have such outward hatred for Donald Trump. This guy really doesn't like him.
Then you had Oprah Winfrey, believe it or not, try and run for the presidency.
Unlikely.
She was not successful.
Yeah,
there
obviously.
was a man called Michael McIntosh who actually succeeded.
Oh, so this guy becomes the president. Michael McIntosh for president, 2024.
On the plus side, in the mid-2020s, we did land on Mars. We had the first man on Mars.
Landed on Mars, boys. We're making it.
Quite a lot of trillionaires in my time who own their own space stations, and they are very powerful people. You don't want to cross them.
In the future, the mob is just people who own space stations. Like, you do not want to cross them.
I stepped into the craft, which is an 8-foot wide
8-foot wide sphere. That doesn't sound like a UFO.
sphere. It uses 2 dual positive singularities.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Okay, now let's just look over what singularity is. A point at which a function takes an infinite value, especially in time-space when matter is indefinite, it is infinitely dense as the center of a black hole. Yes, 2! I'm not really sure what a Joule positive singularity is, but it sounds like it's the power source for the ship, and he's just throwing them in there as though they were D batteries. Like, so they have a lot of these, obviously. They're sending people off into missions all over time space, but like, so they could just create singularities, and the furthest we've gotten in the universe is Mars?
If you want to travel in space, you create a gravimetric wave outside of the sphere itself, and you can ride on that wave and get.
So what he's saying is, time travelers are surfers. That's it. That's the one.
Yes. I went to the 2432.
Okay, now these are big boy numbers. 2432. That's a significant amount of time. That's really the difference between America being founded and like current day.
And
That's huge.
the world, thankfully, was a lot different again. But it was different in a positive aspect.
Okay.
The atmosphere and pollution, that was all cleaned up, thank God. It was very nice, actually, very green. There was lots of flowers everywhere. Everyone appeared to speak English. However, I'm not sure if that was them speaking English or they had some kind of implant where they could
Whoa, whoa.
understand English or speak in their language and you understood their language or what. Buildings were exceptionally tall. They were just huge glass towers.
Okay. I don't understand. Like, I don't think that society could come back in 400 years from being polluted to shit, destroyed in a war, and be able to come back from that to like super advanced technology, like stuff from sci-fi movies having the language converters. Just everyone has one. Everyone has one. Tall glass towers and buildings.
There were numerous cars which were flying and travelling in what I assume were highways in the sky.
Flying cars, boys, we did it. Elon Musk.
They weren't afraid to come up to you and say, "Hi, who are you, where are you from?" I think they were quite used to having time travellers, because when I said I was from 2075, they didn't appear.
Okay, that's not a very good policy. You shouldn't walk out on the street as a time traveler and be like, "Hey man, what's up? Where you from?" "Oh, what's up, my guy? I just came from 2075. You know what I'm saying? Came to see the flying cars. Oh, you going crazy out here." And like, really, how would it be weird to them to see time travelers? Because they are the society that invented time travel 400 years ago. Like, that would be like me seeing a handgun and being like, "Wow, what is this technology? Wow." Like, it's just doesn't make any sense at all. Of course they are okay with time travel. You just shouldn't give away your position that easily.
The US government captured a time-space craft. And this craft, it took them a few years to figure out what it couldn't and can actually do. Unfortunately, that did not go well. It did not travel in time. It travelled in space. It travelled.
So they discovered a time traveling machine and said, "Okay, we're going to disassemble this and learn how to time travel." But instead of learning how to time travel as the machine was intended to be used, they found out how to move fast. It's like if I saw a piano and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to disassemble that instrument and I'm going to learn how to create one." That would be like if I did that, and then my knowledge of disassembling a piano helped me to create a banjo. Like, you're just talking about two different things now.
Officially, time travel was invented and perfected in
Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa.
1975. There were a number of operatives who went backwards in time, mainly because they wished to try and change various historical events, such as World War II. However, they were not successful whatsoever. In fact, a lot of their efforts were making the changes and making what happened a lot worse.
Yeah. Which is... Okay, this is why it's so stupid. Okay, you know, time travel was invented in 1975. So way back when, they said, "Okay, let's go stop World War II." They go back in time. And then they make matters worse. So they say, "Okay, this doesn't work. We shouldn't go back in time to alter the past, because that can create events that make wars worse." Yet this guy, he came back on a mission to warn us about the future events, as they warned the people in World War II of the future events, which led to their war getting worse. So this guy is just trying to make war for us just terrible. Like, I don't know.
So if you've got any questions about what I see in the future, I think that you'd be more interested in that. I'd be more than happy to do another video and say, "Right, this is what's happened. Thank you."
So now he's gonna do a whole Q&A. So, after looking around for a bit, I found a part 2 of the other video. Let's see if he does the whole Q&A scheme. Wait, this came out yesterday. Okay. So, February 22nd, 2018, he says that. Then, like, 2 years later, comes back with another video. Also, who is us? This is the second video he sends us.
My name is Michael Phillips. Some of you may know who I am.
Also, his voice is different. It's not necessarily the tone of his voice, because they do put it through a voice modifier, of course, to leave him anonymous. But the inflections that he speaks with are now different than before.
Some of you may not.
Some of you may not. Things like that. Before he would say, some of you may not. Some of you may not. There's a very big difference in those two.
I have previously warned you regarding the defense of World War III. My previous video gained 6.5 million views to date, and also got attention from media around the world.
Oh, as if he couldn't have predicted that. He's from the future.
The events of World War III, thankfully, have been averted.
Of course they've been averted. All thanks to you, Mr. Time Traveler.
We stopped it.
We stopped it.
Kim Jong-un did indeed launch nuclear missiles towards the US territory of Hawaii.
No.
They were shot down in the sea.
No.
This is verifiable by a nuclear warning that was issued to the residents of Hawaii in March 2019.
No.
Furthermore, I previously spoke of the impeachment of Donald Trump, the President of the United States this time. This is now taking place.
This is now taking place. He's not getting impeached. Guys, just face the facts. What good comes out of impeaching him? Like, sure, he's not the best president. I'm not gonna try defending him. But like, this is like the very end of his term as president. Just let him sit there in office, worry about fixing the economy, which he is good at. He is very good at helping the economy. So just let him sit there, work on the economy, and work on who you're going to put in office next term. You don't have to re-elect him. You don't have to impeach him to not re-elect him.
He does indeed try for a third term, which is permitted under rules if he does not get prosecuted by the Senate. His first term is null and void, which does indeed happen. Thankfully, his third term never happens.
Thankfully, his third term never happens. Again, with his open disdain for the president.
So that is another verifiable fact. That proves I am indeed.
That proves I'm indeed from the future. A bunch of idiots wanted to impeach the president. That means I'm from the future. No, you could have guessed that. You could guess that by looking at the way the country stands. I mean, originally you were just going for clicks. And yeah, it worked out for you, but don't come with a response video saying like, I am undeniably from the future now. You're not even the same person as before. Maybe you're just like, you've been corrupted by YouTube over the 2 years you spent in space travel. But like, it's not the same.
So those are three things straight away, which prove that I am indeed.
Okay, none of those prove that he is from the future. Those are all speculations. Like, he gave a half-truth, and that's like me saying, in 2027, the Earth will revolve around the sun. And when the Earth does, in fact, revolve around the sun, I will say, I can predict the future. Like, I just knew it was going to happen. I am so good at my job. Just stop.
Furthermore, Elon Musk of SpaceX has started his efforts towards reaching.
That's been a goal of humanity for a long time. It's not because you predicted that, dude.
Mars. This is something I've previously detailed in my last video. So I ask you this question: do you believe now?
No. He didn't even say anything new. He just walked in and he started talking about like, oh, I predicted this. That means I feel the future. You're not from the future because you said humans will try going to Mars eventually. No, that's been a goal since the beginning of space travel. Down here, I got better shit to do than listen. You're fake. You don't exist. Leave. Get out of my time zone.